If anyone's got a guitar handy right now, I would thoroughly recommend putting a tuning peg in your nose. So today, boys and girls, I want to compile a list of the most iconic signature guitars. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to fucking rank them in a tier list because no one's ever done that before. We're going to decide whether they're legendary or whether they're worth nothing but just chopping up and sticking in the fireplace or hanging on the wall or something. We have to decide on the criteria. All right, so obviously how gorgeous it is. You should have the urge to do something at least somewhat remotely sexual with the instrument. I suppose like iconic factor as well. How iconic the design is, right? Let's do this.
Before we go any further, I just want to let you know that I'm now offering a 7-day free trial for my online guitar school. Unlock the entire archive of super fun lessons, exercises, and content, as well as Discord access and guided weekly mentoring from me. Click the link in the description below to visit Bradley Hall's Guitar School and sign up today for free.
The Randy Rhoads Polka Dot V. You know, the guitar he has here in this classic photo. That's a cool headstock. I like the pointiness, and I like that they've continued the polka dot design into the headstock. Kind of neat. Though I'm not really a fan of like these sort of old school V designs with like the rounded edges and the fucking fat ass body and like the 4 tone knobs here. It's kind of ugly. I think it's a B tier. All right, next up, the Dime Razorback. You look at this and you automatically think Dime. So it's impossible to play a guitar that looks like this without someone thinking, oh, it just looks like you're trying to fucking role play as Dimebag, you fucking poser dickhead. But when it comes to ranking, what does that make it though? It is an absolutely iconic design, right? It's a part of metal history, so it has to be legendary, doesn't it, right? All right, what's next? Alexi Leo V. I personally fucking adore these guitars. It's pointy, it's spiky, it's got sharp edges, 1 volume control, no fucking tone bullshit, right? It's sexy, it's timeless. Oh, high A. It's gotta be high A. All right, next up, Sinister Gate Schecter. Holy shit, this guitar. Oh, it's awful. This thing. And like this fucking tumor coming out the side here. Oh, I do actually kind of like the color scheme with like the black and white pinstripe. I've played these a few times and they're actually really nice guitars. I mean, it just looks horrible. Yeah, this guitar is a sin. It's a step above firewood. A sin. There we go. All right, next up, we have the Kirk Hammett Ouija. You know, I was getting like ready to fucking hate this guitar, but it's actually pretty tasteful. I actually really like the Ouija board style artwork. These moon inlays are very tasty with the stars. It's a classy guitar for a not so classy gentleman. Well, it's just better than the Polka Dot Randy Rhoads, I think. All right, next up, right, the most controversial guitar of the modern age, the Machine Gun Kelly Razorblade Schecter.
It plays well.
Alex said it plays well. There we go. I really want to hate this thing, but I can't. I just kind of like kooky guitars. I'll put it above firewood. I think I'm putting the MGK in the mean tier, in the shitpost tier. All right, the Toasted Abassi Larada guitar. It looks like the fucking Elephant Man, dude. Look, it's exactly the same shape. There we go. I don't really dig the aesthetic choices of these guitars. I had the displeasure of playing one of these like last year. It is not a pleasant guitar to play. I found it incredibly uncomfortable. This is absolute firewood. I'm sorry. All right, what we got next? All right, Zach Wild Bullseye guitar. There's something about it, just like very simple, strong aesthetic, like super iconic and striking and timeless. I'd say it's an A tier. I mean, I'm not going to put it higher than the Alexi V, but I think it's close behind. Guess you could still get away with playing it without looking ridiculous, right? All right, raw. Oh, here we go, boys. Kerry King B tribal guitar. Nothing says I hate my parents like a Kerry King BC Rich guitar. It's absolutely beautiful. Oh, dude, this guitar is perfection. It's an honest, everyman's guitar that has no shame. It's beautiful. Legendary! Whoa! Hey! All right, Petrucci Majesty. I used to have one of these a long time ago for a while. I had it for about 6 months or so. Oh my God, best 6 months of my life. It's a very, very fast guitar. Like if you're a shredder, then sounds crisp, looks gorgeous. But I think they're beautiful guitars that play very, very well. Maybe not quite as iconic though. All right, next up, the Tim Henson acoustic. Probably one of the most popular guitars. And what's cool as well is that like it's at a very reasonable price point. Unusual shape too. It's very on brand for Tim and Polyphia, right? It looks very contemporary and minimal. Don't you think it kind of sounds like a toy guitar? Better to get an acoustic guitar to sound sort of like very full and like well resonated. And this one sounds very like tinny and like a toy acoustic. I think it's a strong C tier, the Tim Henson acoustic. I think it's all right. Next up, Dave Mustang Flying V. Oh, that sparkle finish. It's just like very mid to me. It's cool. It's solid. Sounds great, I guess. I'm going to put it on C tier. It's super mid. Next up, Marty Friedman's Kelly. This guitar is legendary, isn't it? He made Kelly's cool, which is why you see so many other guitarists these days like have modified versions of Kelly's. So it's like a very influential guitar and very iconic. It's nothing super fancy, right? It's just a guitar that's just like built for one thing and just looks sick while doing it, right? I think it's a solid B tier. What's next? Joe Satriani, Ibanez. That's pretty nice, though. I mean, I've played one of these before, and it was actually pretty sick. It looks super cool. It's so simple as well. Oh, God. Gorgeous. Slap bang in the middle of B tier. That's where we're sticking that. And sticking on the theme of rather outdated instrumental guitarists, we have the Steve Vai Gem. Oh, now I may be a bit biased because I am a Ibanez RG enjoyer. Oh, the classic Ibanez RG shape. It's just... pretty damn iconic, you know, with the grip thing. Now, what's that for? What's the point of that? Or are you gonna like spend like $3,000 on a gem? Is he just gonna walk around the street holding it on its handle? Going down to band practice, I'll see you later. And you just grab your gem, pick it up by its handle, and just sort of walk out. It's actually a little towel rack. So like a little switch on the back where you can like turn on the towel heater, and you just like put your towels in, and it just like heats them up for you when you come out the shower. Well, I was gonna put it in legendary, but now we can't figure out what the practical use of the fucking handle is. Handle tier. There we go. Towel rack tier. Somewhere in between B and C. There we go. Moving on. We got the Paul Gilbert Fireman. No, I love Paul Gilbert, but I think this is a horrid guitar. I don't think there's going to be many people out there who see this and think, oh, I like that. Oh, it's like an MC Escher painting of like a guitar. It's like one of these things, right? That looks like this in like guitar form. The volume shit's down here. The plate's going all the way down here. And like, I think this is an easy firewood tier. Moving swiftly on, the Tony Iommi SG. It just looks like a standard SG with some different pickups. The cross inlays on the neck are like enough for me to sort of like seal the deal. I think that's very cool. Like, it's one of those guitars that's not very exciting, but I guess like Tony and like Black Sabbath, they're not really that sort of band, are they? And I feel like maybe there are more iconic people that have played SGs. It's a nice guitar. It's very pleasant, but it's not very exciting. Yeah, I think it's a C tier. It's a solid C tier, but it's still, it's all right. Right. EVH Frankenstrat. One of the most iconic guitar designs of all time. Oh, I mean, it's just awesome. Like, the neck looks comfy, and the body looks nice and compact. And I love, like, the battered up aesthetic and stuff. It's just very cool. Fucking sick guitar. Legendary, of course. It's probably going up. Oh, this is a real question. Is it better than the Kerry King BC Rit tribal design? The Kerry King's going down into its rightful place. All right, moving swiftly on. Hetfield Snakebite Explorer. The snakebite has a weird shape. I never realized that. I'm not really enjoying this this thing at the end. It's like a prolapsed rectum. But the more I look at it, the more I'm starting to dislike it. Everything past here, past like the bridge, fucking sick. The color scheme, the black and white is gorgeous. I feel like this is a guitar for like big guys. All right, I'm sticking it as a low B tier. All right, Yngwie Strat up next. So I don't think these are too different to regular Strats, except they have like scalloped fretboards, right? Which is like when you sort of take a chunk out of each of the fret to make it sort of like kind of hollowed out. I feel like it's just sort of a souped up Strat pretty much, right? It's an iconic guitar, but it doesn't look different enough to a regular Strat, right? So I don't know. It's like super meh. I think it's like a D tier for me. Moving on. Brian May guitar. Like, objectively, this guitar looks horrible. It's the way like the hardware is designed. It looks like a fucking 1950s like computer. And I don't really enjoy the way the fret markings are, but it's one of the most iconic guitars in history. Brian May's got to be in the top 5 guitar players of all time, right? It's one of those guitars that no one else can play. Like, the iconic factor is like through the roof. Like, this sort of guitar that's not really meant to be played. It's like a piece of history. And you know what? I'm going to make a hang it on the wall tier. Just below legendary. All right, next up, MAB 4-neck. I wonder where this is going. One of the most legendary, iconic moments in all of metal history. I mean, like, A, how do you come up with a concept like this? B, how do you actually manage to pull it off like he did? And C, how can you look that fucking badass / ridiculous while doing it? Obviously a shitpost guitar, right? All right, coming towards the end now. We've got the Jeff Loomis Schecter 7-string. I guess it kind of has that sort of like a typical Schecter, gothy, I hate my parents kind of shtick. Even though it's not a very exciting guitar, I fucking love that finish. It's gorgeous. I think everything just comes together so well. It's a very tastefully designed guitar. But I have played it, and it's very, very heavy, and not the most comfortable guitar in the world. Is it better than Tim Henson guitar? I'm gonna stick it here, in between that and the Dave Mustaine V. Okay, next up we have the Jason Becker Numbers guitar. It is a horrible looking guitar, right? It's horrible. You know, the colors are all over the place. The natural wood on wood finish, it's like fucking double denim. That's like a no-no. But I do love it, because what I always loved about Jason is that his playing is very playful, very, very fun, and almost like childlike. And I like that his guitar reflects that. Just because it's so damn iconic in shred circles, and because it's just so unique as well, I'm gonna slap it on low A. Next up, we have the Cheap Trick Rick Nielsen guitar. Now, this is about as cursed a guitar as you can get, right? I would imagine it's a joke, right? Is there a reason why this was made? I used to stack up as many as 5 guitars for my solo. I play one a little bit, throw it away, and then play the one hanging underneath it. Usually the last one was a prototype Hamer. Okay, so it's like a sort of a set piece in the show. I mean, I don't think there's much discussion to be had here. Shit post tier guitar. Next up, we have the Nuno Washburn guitar. I do quite enjoy these. Sounds phenomenal. Like, these guitars sound very unique, cuts through the mix very, very well. I mean, I know it's not much of a looker. Like a regular strap shape, sort of like what ends here. And this is like coming all the way up here. Oh, now I paid attention to that. Oh, it looks awful. Oh. We'll stick it above the Yngwie though. All right. Bumblefoot double neck Vigier guitar. I would call him the mad scientist of the guitar shred world. And he's made all sorts of monstrosities. But he actually made a Bumblefoot guitar. It's like a giant foot. And it's like the Swiss cheese guitar. He's got the hand guitar as well. That's another legendary one. And so the double neck Bumblefoot Vigier is a half regular guitar and half fretless. No one in their right mind is going to fucking buy this, right? It's I don't know. Yeah. It's not really made to be bought or played. It's just to look at. So next up, we've got the Jimmy Page double neck. This is an SG, but one is a 6-string and one is a 12-string. I feel like, again, this is another one of those kind of like showpiece guitars. This is definitely less niche appealing than the Bumblefoot double neck. Yeah, this is a tricky one. I feel like it's not obviously a legendary, but it could be. I think it's a low legendary. All right, Alan Holdsworth. Very unusual guitar. I feel like it's quite ahead of its time as well, because like this feels like the precursor to all of like the headless Kiesel and Strandberg shit. I am kind of a fan of it. I like the small, compact nature of it. It looks like it would be pretty fast to play, right? I'm Alan played it. All right, it's not particularly iconic, but it's a pretty influential guitar, right? I'm going to put it here. We only have one more left. And we have the Brandon Ellis Kelly. Gorgeous guitar. Basically just a regular Kelly shape, right? But you have this amazing green crackle finish. I'm going to put this next to the other Kelly, just behind the Marty one. I'm going to bump the Randy Rhoads V. I'm going to bump it up to A. Because like these guitars have like history to them, right? And I feel like this is what ties the guitars in A tier together. Yeah, so I think that's fair. So legendary, we have, you know, legendary piece of rock and roll history. A, we have the ones that are not quite legendary tier, but still timeless, amazing guitars. B are just like very, very, very fucking good guitars, right? They don't necessarily have like amazing history. And we have the Talrak. And then I guess like the ones in like C and D are just kind of like mid, not particularly exciting. So I think I'm pretty happy with that. Oh!